Hi, this is Concrete Charlie. Thank you for tuning in to Ask Concrete Charlie. I'm glad so many of you tuned in to our first show last week. Based on the email responses, we really hit a nerve with a lot of folks at the end of the show. There are other good topics some of you are interested in as well. We also got some notes just to thank us for the show. So far, we're having fun with it, and we appreciate all of you that are tuning in and now participating. There he is. Tim's here with us to help me answer your questions, and I'm sure he has some pearls of wisdom to share. What's going on, Tim?
Hey, Charlie. I'm just trying to get these jobs done. How about you?
I'm doing great. When we ran out of time last week, you were wondering why other companies that used to sell drain tile jobs as cure-all are now pushing foundation crack repairs. By the way, you'd be surprised how many people emailed me with a story similar to yours. Well, the answer boils down to opportunity, economics, and percentages.
Really? What do you mean?
Up until homeowners started to feel the impact of this current economic downturn, a lot of the waterproofing companies chose the big-ticket, one-size-fits-all drain tile system to sell to people with seepage problems. No matter where or why the water was coming in, drain tile was their solution. That worked for them as long as enough people had the money to spend on a large project. Now that a lot of people have less funds for home improvement projects, these companies are pretty much taking what they can get. Here's the issue.
You tell them, Charlie.
I will. By selling crack repairs to solve the problem, these companies are either admitting that fixing the cracks is all that's necessary, or they are taking the smaller jobs knowing that drain tile is really required. They're either acknowledging that they've been overselling repairs that weren't required, or they're saying, I'll take less of your money now because I know that's all you can afford. Either way, it's an insult to the consumer. Unfortunately, most of these guys know that fixing the cracks would solve the problem, but the price to fix a couple of cracks is only about 10% of drain tile, so they used to go for the big ticket.
We've always told everyone that concrete foundations usually have specific areas where water will come in the cracks, rod ties, service lines, etc. Not to say that drain tile is not an effective repair, it's just not required to solve seepage problems with a concrete foundation.
We also only recommend what needs to be done. Now, if we're talking about block or stone foundations, that's a different story. Most times, drain tile is the only way to solve seepage problems for those basements.
Well, I sleep at night knowing that we only do what's necessary.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to move on to one of the email questions we got.
Sounds good.
This is Phil in South Bend, Indiana.
Dear Concrete Charlie, I've seen your ads and I've been to your website. I know you talk about fixing the cracks with epoxy and giving a lifetime guarantee, but there are a lot of companies that advertise that they also make epoxy repairs. Even though they only offer a 10-year guarantee, if they're doing the same thing, does it matter who fixes my cracks?
Thanks for the question, Phil. There is one big difference in the way we repair cracks compared to anybody else. Hey, Tim, what is it that we do that nobody else in the industry does?
Podcast? YouTube? eBay?
No, Tim. Think crack repairs.
We install stitches
Right. And why do we do that?
to prevent the crack from ever re-breaking.
Exactly. And why is that important?
Well, because we issue a lifetime transferable guarantee.
That's exactly right. Even the guys who give you a 10-year guarantee will still try to charge you a truck charge of some sort if they have to come back to make a re-repair. Our guarantees are for the life of the building, regardless of the owner and with no ups or extras. So it's in everybody's best interest to do it right the first time. Another difference is that some of the guys out there selling epoxy repairs aren't injecting with epoxy. They get away with it because they use epoxy to either cover the patch they put on or they use it to hold in the foam they're actually injecting. Both types of repairs are sure to fail, but that doesn't stop those guys from making them and giving epoxy injection a bad name. Moving on. How about another email, Tim? What do you got?
I've got one here from Karen in LaGrange, Illinois.
Dear Concrete Charlie, I've got a concrete front porch that has a corner that's crumbled and the sides are falling apart too. I had a handyman patch it a few years ago, but it doesn't seem to be holding up. I've had a couple of estimates to replace it, but they're both over $3,000. Can you tell me if it's worth repairing, or do I need to replace it?
Thanks for your question, Karen. I would usually ask you to send me a few pictures to help me assess whether or not you should replace your stoop. Since you're local, I'm going to use your front stoop as the location for our next episode. We can capture some video of the conditions for our audience to see on their video MP3 or on YouTube.
That's it? You're just going to leave everybody hanging?
This will be a great chance to take our audience out in the field with us.
True, but I wish we had some more time today.
Yeah, I know, but we have to go and get some work done. Go start the truck. I'll be with you in a minute. We'll be back next week. Don't forget to send your emails with your questions and stories to Charlie, CHARLIE, at concretecharlie.com. You can go to my website, www.concretecharlie.com. And you can see my videos on my channel at youtube.com/the Concrete Charlie. Every podcast episode will be uploaded to YouTube. So if you don't have a video MP3 player, you can still see any video we include with our show. And don't forget, if you don't ask Concrete Charlie, you probably won't get the right answer.
We're working